Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for coming to our Alaska presentation. We've got some really wonderful things to show you. And I'm Joan Kellerman. I'm the Classic 50 coordinator, vice president and coordinator. And Glenn Haynes is a personal banker at Chatham and Classic 50 officer. And we're the two for Classic 50 here. And I'd like to introduce Laura Carlson, who's the business manager for Colette. And Laura and I have been working together for a long time on trips. So she's going to do a presentation, and we have one lady with us. I don't know if she can hear me or not. Laura, there's a Laura on listening to us and watching the presentation. So we'll let Laura start.
All right. Well, I'm glad to be here again. I've been doing the presentations and sharing with you some of these great Colette adventures that we've offered, and super excited to see your interest in Alaska. And how many of you have been to Alaska already? Okay, look at this. Yeah, and everyone that goes always wants to go back. So I assume that's why you're here, that you want to look and see and experience maybe some of the same things, maybe some different things that you didn't get to do last time. Because this tour is going to include the land and the cruise. And sometimes people only do one, and then you want to go back and experience more of Alaska. And so this is going to give you both of those things. So a couple things about Colette, if you haven't traveled with us recently. Colette is an old company, started in 1918. We're still a family-owned business and very financially strong. But being an old business, I think it's important to note how progressive Colette has been in really changing the guided tour industry. And so we are looking for ways always in making our tours new and different to match what the modern traveler is looking for. So you'll see that we have free time on tour. We have some special meals that we're going to include for you because having culinary experiences are very important to today's traveler. We're going to try to make every day new and different, so it's not kind of the same pattern of what we're doing every day. And you'll have a guided tour, you'll have a tour manager with you the whole time that you're traveling, even on the ship. And people actually love that. Beforehand, they might think, well, why do I need a Colette guide on the ship? But when they get back, they're like, oh, it was so helpful because you get together with that guide, they give you insight to each of the port, help you with whatever you might need help with, and it kind of brings the group together as well. So let's get started looking at this tour. I'm going to show you the ship. Well, I have the ship up here to show you the picture of the ship. So this is a Holland America ship that we partner with, and you'll see that the ship has many different levels or decks. And there's different types of rooms. When you start looking at the pricing, you'll see that you can have an outside cabin, which has a window, or you can have an outside cabin that has a veranda, which means a balcony, or there's inside cabins with no windows, kind of like this room. So when you look at the ship, you can kind of see some of those areas where there's going to be some ocean view windows, and then there's going to be the veranda balconies. And on this tour, the balconies are the most prized. They are the ones that sell out first. And so we are presenting this tour early so that you have a chance to sign up early and make sure that you get the cabin category that you prefer. But it is the inside cabins, which are the least expensive, but those are the last to sell. So it's kind of maybe opposite of what you might think. So the upgrades, if you want them, you definitely want to get in early to do that. So let's look at where we're going to be going on the trip. We're going to be flying into Fairbanks. And you have one night in Fairbanks, followed by 2 at Denali National Park, 1 in Talkeetna, and then we're going to drive to the coast to Whittier, where we get on the ship for 7 nights. So it's 4 nights on land and 7 nights on the ship. And that ship is going to cruise all the way down to Vancouver with making stops at, we're going to get off the ship at Skagway, Juneau, and Ketchikan. So you get to experience that. From Skagway, if you see where Skagway is, the ship is going to be traveling on the inside passage. So as you look at the map, you see that there's land on both sides. That's what people call the inside passage. And it's really beautiful scenery on both sides of the ship, and then coming into Vancouver. Since we do come into Vancouver and fly home from Vancouver, you do need to have a passport for this trip. So if you don't have one, there's plenty of time. If you need to get it renewed, plenty of time to do that, but you do need to have a passport since you'll be flying home from a Canadian airport. So this is a cruising style tour. We're going to take an average of 44 people. Will be part of the Colette group. Of course, on the cruise portion, there'll be many more, but our group is going to be 44 people is what you'll have. And we rate our tours on an activity level of 1 to 4, with 1 being the easiest and 4 being the most. So this tour is a very easy tour. So there are certainly modifications that you can do to enjoy this without doing a lot of walking or stairs or things like that. So it's a good one to take for all activity levels. Those that are more active, there's plenty of things you could do during your free time to up the activity level and get more exercise and things as well. So starting in Fairbanks, Fairbanks was this kind of temporary trading post that was set up. This is when there were all kinds of people coming through. There was a gold rush that took place in Alaska. So they made this temporary town. Well, it's still standing and is still an important town in Alaska, became a permanent settlement. And the way that you're going to learn about the town and about Alaska is really fun on the Sternwheeler Discovery boat. So we take this boat ride that's going to go on a river, and you learn all kinds of history and things about Alaska from people that are on land. So the boat stops and the people on land tell us their story about Alaska. So we're going to learn about fur trading. We're going to learn about the Iditarod dogs, the sled dogs. And we're even going to have a float plane land and take off, because float planes are a really important way for Alaskans to get around, to go to some remote areas. So we're going to show you how that plane works and how that happens. So it's a really fun, relaxing day to be aboard the ship and learn so much about the history of Alaska. So now we're going to start seeing Denali, this magnificent mountain. This mountain is 20,000 feet high. It is big, 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 tall mountain. The word Denali means the big one or the high one in the Aboriginal language, and it certainly is. And we're going to have several days that you might get glimpses or a full view of the mountain, just depending on what the clouds are doing while you're there. And we include a special dinner for you. We have a musical theater performance we're going to go to that tells the story of Alaska as well. So these early days, you're really going to get to know a lot about Alaska in the history in fun, interesting ways, and have some great food while you're there too. So this is an included experience for you. And then we're going to have the day that we're going to go deep into the national park. And we go with a park ranger. They only let vehicles go certain distance into the park, and to go farther, you need to go with a ranger in a parked vehicle. And so that's what we do to give you that full experience. It's called the Tundra Wilderness Tour. And when you're doing this, you're going to be hopefully seeing some wildlife. So the wildlife might be caribou, might be bear, moose, eagles. So all of those things are possible to see while you're here in the park, and learning a lot of things about the park as well as you go. So again, you're going to have a couple days that you're going to see this, because even when we go to the next hotel in Talkeetna, you can still see Denali from there. So let's see, my clicker's going a little bit fast. There we are. We're now going to do the domed train ride. And this is something people always rave about. They love this train, and I do too, because you get to see the countryside, the nature in a different way on a train. And it is these beautiful dome cars that you can see out and up. There is a guide that's going to be giving commentary as we're on the train. So you're, again, learning things or things are being pointed out to you. And so it's just a really, really neat activity and fun to go on this beautiful train. And then here's Talkeetna. This is where we're going to spend a night. And you can still see Denali in the distance. Talkeetna, though, you'll learn is a very quirky town. And so they'll share with you some of the quirky things about them. But one of them is that for several years, their mayor was a cat. So yes, they voted for a cat. They were very happy about it. And so, live their own life, do their own thing, and you'll learn about them in Talkeetna. So now as we leave Talkeetna, we're going to be heading to the ship. But we have a couple stops along the way, including Anchorage. So you're going to get to see this biggest city, beautiful with the mountains all around it and just a great city. And then we're going to continue on and we're going to be going through the mountain range and along the Turnagain Arm. And so that's what this drive is. We're going to be taking this drive along there, which is spectacular, just breathtaking to see this and the excitement then of what's coming next as you get on the ship and continue to see more of this beauty. Another stop we make before getting on the ship is we're going to go to a wildlife rescue. And this gives you a chance to see up close animals that are being rehabilitated, that were injured or orphaned. Hopefully they can be released back into the wild. If not, they're going to be cared for well here at the reserve. So if you didn't get to see them in the wild, you'll get to see some of those animals here at the reserve. And then we'll continue on to Whittier, which is where all the ships leave from and come into. So it's a busy port, and we're going to then get on our Holland America ship. So it's a beautiful ship. It is a ship that's going to have all the amenities that you would expect on a full-size ocean ship. That means that you're going to have all of your meals included. There's big production shows every night you can go to. There's dancing, there's trivia, there's casino. There's just all of the things that are a part of cruising that you'll get to enjoy and experience on the ship. But of course, the real attraction is outside. And so you want to continue to take in the beauty of the state of Alaska. And this is the Hubbard Glacier. And I just love the glaciers that have that blue turquoise look to them. You may be fortunate enough to see a calving. Calving is when a piece of the glacier breaks off. You kind of hear a crack. You hear the sound first, and then you're like, where is it going to happen? And then all of a sudden you'll see a piece that breaks off of it. And it's quite exciting to be able to see that. We're going to take you also to Glacier Bay, and that's where this picture is taken in. But I like to point out in this picture what the people are wearing. So they have jackets, they have mittens and hats, they have binoculars. Those are all important things to take on the trip. So whenever you go to Alaska, the temperature can vary. The variance is usually going to be between 55 and 70. So you got to kind of prepare for clothing and weather to be in that range. So that's what it's like even in the summer. You may have some days that are going to be even higher than 70 because our weather is crazy these days. But you may also have some days that would be on the cool side in the low 60s or high 50s. And when you're out on deck, it may feel a little bit cooler, especially if the ship is moving. So you want to dress properly to have be comfortable to spend time outside and be able to see the beauty of the area around you. So when we're in Glacier Bay, what happens is the captain turns the ship 360 degrees in a complete circle, so that wherever you're standing on deck or wherever your balcony cabin is that you're sitting out on your private balcony, you can see the whole bay because you have glaciers and mountains. You might have some seals and things that are out in the water. So it's a great, beautiful day to be able to see that, and everybody has the opportunity to do that and to see it well. So now we're going to stop at our first stop. We're going to make a couple stops where we're going to get off of the ship. And this is Skagway. So Skagway is known for the gold rush days, and they've kept the town looking like that era. So it looks like an old West town, or this is again an old Alaskan town where it's going to have that feel and look to it. So you'll get to spend some time enjoying Skagway. We do offer an optional excursion here. So if you want to just go into town and explore, you can do that. But if you join us, we do have something extra that is a tour of Skagway, and then we drive up to the summit. The summit is going to give us a beautiful view over the whole area. So it's a nice extra to add on if you'd like to do that. So that's a possibility for you. So then continuing on, our next stop is in Juneau. So Juneau is the capital, and I wonder if you know that you cannot drive to Juneau. There are no roads. You have to go by plane or by boat. So that's interesting for a capital city to be kind of cut off in that way. And it has a small population. I think it's about 30,000 people in the city. Almost everyone works for the state. And while we're here in Juneau, we're going to give you another optional excursion that you could do. And that is to go out on a jet boat to go whale watching. And they know where the whales are. They can take you out to that area in the jet boat to hopefully get to see some whales, maybe calving and or jumping and different things that they do to experience that. While you're on the big ship, you might get to see whale. So that is something people tell me that they do get to see them, but they're farther off in the distance usually. So this is a chance to get a little closer up and to make sure that we're going to a place that, again, usually they're active. So if you'd like to add that to your tour, you can. Otherwise, you would have free time in Juneau that you can enjoy. And our last stop is Ketchikan. So Ketchikan is this city that has a history. Of course, they all do. But it has this beautiful looking street here that's up on stilts. And this street used to be the red light district. And now what you'll find is there's all kinds of interesting boutiques and restaurants and shops and stuff. So it's a fun area for tourists to wander through. And it's called Creek Street that's here. In Ketchikan, they're known as the salmon capital of the world. So you'll have good salmon throughout the whole trip, but this town is especially known for salmon. And they're also known for totem poles. So they have, I think it's the largest collection of Native American totem poles are here in Ketchikan. So those are some extra things that you could look into if you'd like to see those. And then while we're here, Colette offers another excursion, and this is the Misty Fjord flight seeing. So you can take a flight on a small plane if you'd like to do that. It's again beautiful views that you're going to get to see of the glaciers and the fjords that are along here. So that's up to you if you'd like to add that to your trip. So now we have a day that we're going to be cruising on that inside passage. So we're not going to get off the whole day. It's going to be a day at sea, which is kind of nice to have at the end of the trip. So you kind of have a more relaxing day and you can take advantage of the amenities of the ship if you haven't had time to. They have, of course, they have a salon where you could get a massage or maybe participate in some of the fun activities that they have. And continue to watch the beautiful scenery that's outside. So this will be our day that's taking us then all the way to Vancouver. And we're going to get into Vancouver. We do go directly from the harbor to the airport. So this doesn't include seeing anything, sightseeing in Vancouver. But it is a very great city. It has all these glass buildings. You will get to see this view because the harbor is right in the heart of the town. So you will get to see the views of the town. And then we'll fly home right from there and bring you back here.
How long a flight is it?
The flight, depending on whether it's nonstop or connecting, and we don't know yet which it will be, so it could be either. But if it's nonstop, it's probably about 6.5 hours. If it's connecting, it normally would connect through like Seattle, maybe Denver. So then it would just be broken up into 2 segments that you'd have. So a couple of details about the trip, and then I'll go over the flyer a little bit with you and tell you a little bit more. Is this going to advance? It's advancing on my screen, but not on, there we go. Okay, there's just a delay is what it is. You can personalize your adventure. So if there's anything that you would like to add to the tour, maybe going early or staying longer or visiting somebody on the West Coast when you're done with the tour, we can make your flight arrangements to make that happen. And so just let us know if there is anything. And then included in your package is Colette's insurance. And our insurance is truly different from anything else out there. It gives you a full cash refund if you cancel your tour right up to the day before departure. So something changes at the last minute, you would just call Joan and she would say, I'm sorry that you can't go. I was looking forward to traveling with you. She's so polite. But you'll have all of your money back in probably around 3 weeks. You'll get either a check. If you wrote a check initially, you get it back as a check. If you paid by credit card, you get it go through the bank. So it'll come back to the bank will issue it to you and you'll be all squared away. So everything except the cost of the insurance comes back to you, including the airfare. So it really, we do that. Colette does it because we want you to sign up and we know things happen. We're financially stable enough to give you your money back if that situation occurs and make everybody happy. So the second thing the insurance does is it covers you on tour. So once you start the tour, then you're covered for medical if you have to go to the doctor, the hospital. If you have to leave the tour and come home early because of an emergency, it would reimburse you for those things. It even covers lost luggage or delayed luggage, or if there's an extra night you end up spending in a hotel somewhere because of a delay. All of that is reimbursed by insurance. So again, that is part of your package. You have that coverage and you'll all get to enjoy those benefits if needed. We also have a passport club. If you've traveled with us before, you have a discount on your next tour. If this is your first trip, you'll earn a discount by taking Alaska, and then if you travel again, that discount will be applied to the future trip. So we like to thank people that have traveled with us, and you have 3 years in which to use that discount credit. So it's very nice for you. We're also going to be taking you from Springfield to Chicago for your flight. So we're bringing you back at the end of the trip. So that transportation is included as well. So all of that's handled for you. And of course, Joan is going with the group. So you'll have her. And then once you're on tour, you'll meet up with the Colette tour manager who will be with you throughout the whole trip as well. So I want to point out a couple of things on the flyer and then open it up for your questions. But you'll see the dates on the top of June 17th to the 28th. And be ready for the midnight sun you've probably heard about. So the sun is going to have a lot of daylight hours, which is so cool to experience that.
Yeah, better than winter. I wouldn't want to have dark without.
Right. Yeah, it'd be hard to go somewhere that has like 3 hours of daylight or less, but you're going to have lots of sun. And then inside, under the picture of the people that are standing here, below that, it gives the names of the hotel and the names of the ship. So you can see where you're going to be staying. If you want to Google it, check it out, look it up, it's all there. And then in the day-by-day itinerary, at the end of each day, it has a B for breakfast and a D for dinner, L for lunch. So we have some meals included for you for the land portion, but there are some meals you'll be on your own. And then once you are on the ship, all of your meals are included on the ship. On the right-hand side below the map is the pricing, and all those different prices are either going to be showing a single or a double. If you want a single room by yourself, or a double would be 2 people sharing. And then you can choose inside, ocean view, or veranda. So again, those are the 3 cabin choices that you can choose from, and whether you're going as a single or a double. So again, those verandas sell out first. So getting your reservation in early is important to be able to get the room that you'd like to have on the trip. And I know that I know that Joan is going to tell you a little bit about the paperwork, but I wanted to mention to you that Colette also gives you a grace period. And the grace period we give you is so you pay your initial deposit, and then if you change your mind by the end of the grace period, you would even get your insurance money back. If you cancel after the grace period, we keep the insurance money, but give you everything else. And that grace period date is, just want to look here, August 17th. So it's the last sentence on the back cover is where I referred to this. So it says deposits are refundable until August 17th. So sign up now, recheck if you can go in August, and you're good to go. So questions, what else can I tell you about Alaska and about this trip?
Are they night flights or day flights?
They're day flights, but typically they get in the evening. So you might not land in Alaska till like 10:30 at night, but it isn't an overnight flight. Yeah,
I'm
yes,
sure all the excursions are different pricing,
yeah.
but that's something that we would pay on our own. Do we pay for that prior to leaving?
Yeah, so let me explain the excursion. So Colette has a couple. We had that Skagway tour, and we have whale watching, and then we have the flight. And if you want those, you would sign up for them ahead of time. Usually we want you to sign up with your final payment. And final payment is due 3 months before departure. So Joan will probably remind you if anyone wanted to add one of those excursions, this is the time to do it. Now also, if you've traveled on a ship before, you know that ships also offer excursions. So there will be excursions available from Holland America. So at each port, they'll likely have 6 or 8 different types of excursions that you could choose from. And you're welcome to do those as well. So as you get closer to departure, you'll be registered, you will register yourself. That is one thing with traveling on a ship, is each traveler does need to create a shipboard account. And Joan will walk you through that or handle it with you for you. Yeah, and then once you have an account, you can see what excursions they might be offering, and if any of those are of interest to you, that you could do those as well. Yeah. Yes.
What's the passenger capacity of the ship?
Yeah, it's around 2,000. So it's not one of the giant ships. It's and that's why Colette is working with Holland. We like that it's a smaller compared to the ginormous ships that are out there today. So around 2,000, 2,200, something like that. Yes.
Ideas the cost of those different excursions, those 3 that you talked about.
Oh, do you have that in any of your paperwork today? No. So we'll get that, Joan, you can reach out to Joan anytime and see that and see what that is. Yeah. The flight one, of course, is the most expensive. I want to say that might be like $375 or $400, something like that. Whereas the other 2 are less expensive, with the Skagway tour being the least expensive, probably under $100 for the Skagway tours. So, but that is all available, and Joan will have that. Yes.
Is Holland America still catered pretty much to adults?
Yes, that's another reason we like Holland, is they do cater to adults. So they don't have all the children's clubs and activities and things as big as other cruise ships do. And that's a better fit for our traveler as well.
If you find one, can you throw them over? What is the eating on the ship?
Yes, so what is the eating like on the ship? So Colette will have an area of the dining room where our travelers will sit. And that way you can kind of reconnect with everybody if you'd like to go to the dining room and be in that same area. And so the dining room is going to be, fancier and table service and all of that. If you prefer, you can go to the buffet anytime you want instead of the dining room. So there's always a choice of a buffet or the dining room that you can eat in.
You have to dress up with the dining room.
There's on a regular basis, and they'll tell you, you'll get a newsletter daily that will tell you what the dress is. But typically in the dining room, you do dress up a little bit more. They don't want you to have shorts or I don't know if it's gym shoes or what, but they're gonna have some requirement that you're dressing a little bit nicer. And then they're going to have 2 dinners that are captain gala dinners. And those captain's dinners are definitely more dressy. And so you'll see everything from maybe men in tuxedos and women in gowns, but it doesn't mean you have to do that. You could wear slacks and a blouse, and the guys could wear a collared shirt, and you'd be good to go as well. So it's a range of things, but those are dressier. And if you don't want to mess with that at all, just go to the buffet that day. So it's okay to do that too, anytime that you'd like to do it.
Yeah, specialty dining is always nice there too.
Yeah, so there may be some specialty dining that you can do. That would be where you pay extra to go to a specialty restaurant on board. And so, yeah, glad you like that. Yeah, yes.
The cruises I've been on, they've had like 2 seatings for the,
Yes.
so early and then was later.
And we usually do the early. So, yeah, so we do the early seating and then you can go to the show afterwards if you want to. So that seems to work out as the better time, and that's what we do. Yeah.
Are they still doing the midnight buffet?
I don't know for sure, but I would think that they do. It may not be as elaborate as it used to be back in the day.
The hosts of the main dinner. Because it's a nice. Get hungry at midnight.
Yeah.
I have a question about Glacier Bay.
Yeah.
How many hours did they spend in the bay and how far into, or did they just go in and turn around?
That's a good question. I don't exactly know the answer to that. I don't know if you know from previous trips that you've done, how long it was, if it's I don't know if it's a couple hours or not.
I was thinking like
hours. Yeah.
Because I did it, we spent the whole day cruising
Okay.
the bay.
And were you on a big cruise ship or a smaller?
It was smaller.
Kayak?
Oh, it was smaller.
Yeah. I'm thinking there's some restrictions on where a bigger ship versus a smaller ship can go.
Sure,
So
there is.
it may not be quite as in-depth as what you experienced, but.
A lot of ships don't even have license to enter
Ah,
the bay, so.
okay. Yeah, this is included.
That will be our captain.
Yes.
Is that the ship we will be on?
I'm looking at there, if it's not this one, and I can't read a name on it, it's gonna be a sister ship, which is gonna be very similar. And so, and your ship is the Nordam?
Santa Maria.
The new, yeah, Holland America, New Amsterdam. Yes.
Brand new. Never been on water.
He went on a troop ship to Germany, so he's worried that you get seasick on that. You don't get seasick on this kind of trip.
Typically not, because you're really close to land or you're on the inside passage where you've got land on both sides of you. So I don't usually hear about people feeling a lot of motion on an Alaska cruise. Of course, it's possible, but
He did. We got,
you did.
yes, he did.
Because he was drunk.
And as an also, he never gets seasick, but we were on rough water one day.
Okay.
And her husband and I, we did our thing while the most of her.
Yeah. So bring something for motion sickness then. Just sit it up. Yeah, yeah.
The doctor gave me patches.
Yeah, the
And he
patches,
said,
you can get a
yes.
prescription patch would be a good
Yeah.
idea then. Yeah.
So when that hit me, I was at the top of the ship, very, very highest level you could go
Yeah.
as a passenger.
and we were going to a smorgasbord or
There's a buffet there,
buffet there, and that was all at the front of the ship.
Yeah.
and that's the worst place.
And where it hit me, I said, I'm just going to go downstairs.
Yeah.
I went for the elevator. They got down there and they had a large room there and they had windows on the side, big windows. And those windows were 7 to 8 feet above the water.
Yeah.
You could watch them. So I decided I was gonna get something else. Went up to the bar, and I was talking to one of the people that supply members of the troops. Officers. He said, how you doing? I said, he said, well, you've done the right thing by coming down here, because if you're up at top, you get this.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
And then he said, my best advice to you is get a beer instead of get a coffee. And I said, are you kidding me? He said, no. He said, his wife told him. So I went and got a beer, sat down right in the middle. And he took a lot of us.
Oh, good.
Just to,
Good. Yeah, so the middle of the ship and low in the ship is where you'll feel the least motion. And have a beer. Nine in the morning, it doesn't matter.
Don't you move there?
Oh. Well, I'll turn it over to Joan. She can tell you about signing up, but I'm still here if there's other questions that come up for this trip.
Inside your brochure, there's a payment page on the very last. And that's when I need the payments to me, so I can honor my time frame to collect. And they come here to the bank, and then I send a wire transfer to collect for the payment. And that's on the last page when we need the payments filed. And I make all the reservations for you. You will let me know what you're wanting, and then I put it on a spreadsheet to collect, and then they make our arrangements on the ship for us. Any questions on the payment, how we do those?
Is it possible or impossible to opt out of the insurance?
I have never done a trip without the insurance. And I'll tell you why, because you never, ever know when something can come up. Our pricing is with the insurance
Right.
and airfare in it.
Right.
And I don't like to separate.
Well, that's.
Yeah.
I would think for life insurance if you're going.
Yes,
It has really helped people clip it because
Yeah.
you never do know.
sure. I just didn't know if you had the option.
Yeah, no.
You get the
I-
day before to cancel, my God.
I've never given, an option on that. I just feel more comfortable for everyone if we have the insurance in it.
I understand.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
We were just on a trip and I got burned on the airplane. The lady was serving coffee. I don't even drink coffee and she spilled it. It went. I had to go to an area and get my clothes off. We have not heard from the airline yet.
What airline was it? United probably.
Turkish Airlines.
Turkish Airlines. Few weeks,
A month.
a month plus.
It's really.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So if something like that happens again, do you take care of it or do we have to take care of that, something like that that happens?
Well, and what the insurance will cover is if you need to see the doctor. So if you have a doctor that you're visiting or something was, you couldn't continue on in the trip because.
We were in flight, we were in flight. I had to completely change clothes.
Right. That's good.
And I asked for help the next morning because I couldn't move my wrist. They took my luggage right when the plane connected to the land, left me.
Yeah. Did you file a complaint or paperwork or anything?
The issue was,
I asked the steward if they completed any kind of report or anything. They said it's an iPad. They said, can you give me a copy? It's an iPad. Can you give me a report or incident number? No, it's on an iPad. They said, Caroline will contact you.
Yeah.
I've been in contact with them, but so far it's
Wow.
If something like that does happen again, I would tell you, use your camera to take photos of it.
So I'm just wondering if something like that happened again, how is that handled in by a separate or by the tour or?
Well, by the tour and insurance, it would only be if there was an expense that you incurred. You know, so it would be, you know, getting you medical help, getting you reimbursed for any expense.
Wasn't any medical help on the plane?
Right. Right.
Would it be after she got home or anything, getting seen by a doctor?
Once you're home, then your home insurance would take care of it. But if it was on your way over there and when you landed, you saw a
We were
doctor.
gone 3 weeks plus
And did this happen on the way there or the way home?
on the way there.
Yeah, so then if you needed medical care, then it would cover you for medical care while you were in the destination.
okay.
When we send in our first payment, well, then will we be receiving more details? Things to look through.
That will be what you get there. Uh-huh.
What I see is what I get.
Yes. I was trying to say it nicer.
And then there is a sheet about the optional tours.
Yes.
So that is something that you could give them at a future date.
Just, we will get something about the actual tours.
Yes.
Hot dog.
And then when you sign up with like the, whatever the name of the ship is,
Colin? Yeah.
yeah, they'll send information too about their excursions
Yeah, I
too.
don't know if they send or if you have to go into their site and find it.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I started to do Alaska trip a couple years ago and I still get stuff about the Royal Caribbean or whatever it was, you know, sign up for this trip, kind of thing.
Yes. See that.
Excursions.
Okay, the main thing is to know to have a passport. You have to have a passport for this trip. Now would be a good time to start planning on that if one's expired.
When we sign up and give you our information, do you have a copy of our passport with you?
Yes, at all times. I like to have, when you sign up, or if you're going to get it to me very shortly.
Right.
Because I take those documents with me just in case somebody lost something. And it hadn't happened before, just in case.
So you want a paper copy?
Yes.
Just a picture on your phone? Okay.
Yes. I'm old school.
So how many total people, is just 44 people from Colette?
Yes.
At the moment.
Do you think you think if by a chance it would be canceled for any reason?
No,
Okay.
no, these sell out and like even.
Or if you only have 10 people from Colette going?
That won't happen. I mean, just history shows it won't.
Anything can happen.
Like right now, if Joe contacted me today and asked for space for 2026, we have none. We have no space that isn't already designated for groups. So it's that full. Yeah, so it always sells out.
That's why we do these presentations so early, so that we can get our space with Colette.
We could sell our first child.
Anybody else have any questions?
Do you know how long the train ride is from Denali?
I think it's like 2 hours, so that you'll get to experience the train.
Yeah, I don't think so. Those glass things on the top, you could never get up there. The seating in the top, the open thing, that we can see the scenery, you never can get up there.
Oh, this is like at the picture I had, there's not an upper and a lower. So I go back to.
I mean, the second floor.
No, it's all in
The
the
whole train.
I can see that.
Cars that aren't.
I can see that.
Cars, that's what he's talking about.
They're all like that.
They're all the dome.
Yeah, everybody will have a dome seat.
Oh,
Just
okay.
gotta get back to
That's
it.
good.
Well, that was a big seller for me.
Yeah, so some of those excursions too, they might have where you can buy a train.
I thought I saw
They did
one
on the,
car with it.
all in American, I mean, no,
No.
Royal Caribbean, listen, I can find that's.
That is not different.
So all the,
Yeah, that's great.
like. Just know, all the one that showed the whole.
Oh, that showed the whole train. Yeah,
So
so.
they were like there, it did look like all the cars had the dome.
And all of the cars. So it will be a full dome cab on our.
Ours are like in a test, it looked like on that regular train, there was some that were regular.
Our group will sit in,
Oh, for sure.
Like there's a cigar.
correct, or, yes,
No, the train is up here.
that's what's
That
nice
is really
with going to Colette, is if you get those extras.
Right.
It's your-
Tour.
For the rail.
I think if there's bathrooms on the train.
Yes.
Two seats here, 2 seats here.
Can you get more than two people in a cabin?
Um,
In the veranda?
We have to check. So we only are offering doubles and singles, so we're not offering triples, so I'm not sure that they're available. Yeah, so,
Shoot.
and singles are the other thing, that singles are very limited. So if anyone's looking at going as a single, we need your reservation right away to guarantee that we can get you in and confirmed.
Now, can I sign up for a single now, and then if I do find a roommate, I can change it?
Yes, yes. So it'd be better to sign up as a single now and then add a roommate later. Because we make sure you've got the single room, whereas if you change your mind later, then it can't be the opposite direction usually.
If I can find a roommate, I'd do the veranda, but if I find a roommate, I might do just the view.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's still 5,000 cheaper than 2 hours.